So we're going to talk about intention?
Yeah.
Okay, but before we do that, can we just talk about this fucking shirt? And why is it so tight now?
European cut.
Why? I feel like Michael Scott when he has the women's suit and he fucking puts it on and everybody starts calling him out. It's even the same color.
It's purple.
Okay, listen, that's the color of royalty, so I'm going to need you to fuck off for a second.
I have nothing against purple. I personally think it looks really nice.
Well, I intended to wear this because I feel like it looks good on me.
Yeah.
And I want to act with intention. You told me something about that. What was that?
Well, I think if you want to be happier in your life, you should be more intentional with the everyday things that you do. And we had a good conversation about this, whether it's your work, your hobbies, just everyday tasks. Just slow down and focus on what you're doing and be intentional with what you're doing, and you'll find more joy in life.
Yeah.
And I can be vulnerable and say, I had to really work on this for myself because I'm high functioning anxiety, which means I am always thinking about the next thing I have to do.
Yeah.
So whether
You're
it's
like high functioning like Stephen Hawking or high functioning like Rain Man, like what do we mean? Because there's two opposite ends of the spectrum. So
not as smart as Stephen Hawking
Okay.
and not as talented as Rain Man.
okay, all right, fair enough.
But
So
blend everything else, all the other disabilities.
all right, so there's no Simple Jack in there, right? A dash on my end. All right, so you touched on anxiety, and fucking everybody, I feel like everybody these days, whether they realize it or not, has a dash of anxiety. It affects people in different ways. So kind of take me through that. Is this, you talked about life, professional, like where do you notice it the most, and what'd you find?
In being intentional, because I'm so focused on the next thing I have to do. So hurry up, get done with work so you can work out. Hurry up and get through your workout so you can make dinner. Hurry up and make dinner so you can eat it.
Yeah.
Hurry up and clean up so you can go to bed. And you're not living in any of those moments and being present because you're just trying to get through it, because while you're doing the thing, you're thinking about the next thing that you have to do.
Oh shit, yeah.
But if you, and I want your perspective on this is just from my perspective, we already know if you, in a workout, for example, most people.
That's a good example for intention.
Yeah, most people don't enjoy their workout. They just want to get through it so it's done and they can check the box.
That was me for a long time, so I never did it.
Yeah, but we already know there's science between mind-muscle connection. If you slow down, you're very intentional with your movements. You think about the muscle you're working. You really focus on each rep, and you're intentional with what you're working.
Feels so good after, too. Your endorphins hit so much harder.
But it's a more effective workout.
Yeah.
And so you're being more effective in your workout. You're actually enjoying it more because you're connected to what you're doing.
And not like, get me off this fucking hamster wheel. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like, let me hurry up and get through it. Let me count down. I got 30 minutes left, which means that I got to do 10 minutes 3 times. The things we all tell ourselves just to get through it. But if you actually live in the moment and be more intentional, you'll find happiness in the things that you do. Maybe your happiness isn't being intentional in a workout, but even in making dinner, is there something that you could do to be more connected to what you're doing?
Yeah.
Just everyday things. I think being more intentional will just make you more purposeful and connected to what you're doing. I mean, so what's your perspective on that? Because that's from Rain Man / low functioning Stephen Hawking over here.
Simple Jack here for a second. So I love that because I feel like, exercise is such a great way to talk about intention, mind-muscle connection. You get a better workout. You legitimately, you can feel and see the results, I think, more drastically when you're focused, and there's actual science behind that.
Yep.
But even pivoting, just basic connection, right? Just having a conversation with somebody and being, like you said, being intentional with everything that you do. If you're sitting there, I don't know, being loquacious, that's a big word.
Wow.
That's a Hawking word.
That's a Hawking word.
That is a Hawking word, loquacious.
Damn.
So when I'm being loquacious, If I'm just sitting here and I'm talking at you and I didn't have my EQ to realize you're not interested anymore because you're fucking looking over my shoulder, you're playing with your phone, you're just giving me, yeah, like there's no real connection, no real conversation happening, right? But if I'm intentional in what I'm saying to you, then either I'm gonna be a better conversationalist, I'm gonna be pointed in what I'm talking about, and the interaction is gonna go better, right? Because you're gonna come away with it feeling like we actually connected, and I'm gonna come away feeling like my words landed well and I was well received, right? And that makes you better overall at building relationships, at influencing, at leveraging. I mean, there's so many things that you get to do just even in basic connection when you're intentional.
Yeah. So it's not just tasks for your connection, but it's connection with people too, being intentional. Think about the number of times we've talked about interactions with people where we feel like we're doing a lot of work. We're intentional with, I want to learn more about this person. I want to find a way to connect with them, to build a relationship. So you ask questions and you just don't get any of that in return because
Well, it's a cinnamon stick.
Yeah, it's a cinnamon stick.
That's a classy, I'm sorry. That's classy.
ADHD.
I like that. Yeah. Oh, fuck. We could do a whole episode on ADHD, but I digress. So continue.
Yeah. And then I don't even remember what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's the ADHD right there.
But should we talk about this cocktail?
Okay, so Susie whipped this up.
It doesn't look good anymore because now we're drinking it down.
Yeah, this is already our second.
I was going to call it the Christmas cocktail, but Matt said it's more like an autumn sour
because it has that bite of a whiskey sour.
But it's vodka, cranberry juice, and apple cider, and then over the top that little cinnamon stick in there.
Yeah, it's choice. It's pinky out, at least partially cocked out. So
I'm in my autumn colors too. It's October now.
So I love thinking or approaching everything with intention. Think about relationships. Right? Think about even, us or, if you're thinking about your spouse or your parents, your siblings, right? So we're grown-ups, right? We're adults.
I think so.
We pay taxes, right? So we are functioning legal adults without guardians, okay? Think about the quality of interactions you have with your parents now, right? Or that I have with my parents now. Think about all the conversations, all the topics that you can touch on. Whereas a lot of people become estranged from their family and go in different directions as they get older. But we're actually spending time to enrich in those relationships, and we're having vulnerable conversations with them too. I mean, when I was growing up, my dad was an asshole. If he ever sees this, I don't think he's going to even judge that.
Thank God he doesn't have Facebook.
Oh God, yeah, he doesn't trust it. So.
He only goes on YouTube to watch travel videos instead of taking real vacations.
Fucking Alex Jones videos. God, I love him. My dad, Alex Jones, is insane. So, fucking travel videos. You would rather watch somebody else.
Instead of, he even said that. Why do I need to travel? I can watch YouTube videos.
So
anyway, another video.
When I was younger, like we didn't talk, we didn't communicate, we didn't have a good relationship, right? I mean, he was my dad, so either I thought he was pissed off, or he was having to work, or realistically, I was an asshole as a teenager, probably most of my life. So, but now the types of conversations we can have when we're intentional, I feel like we can be more honest. I feel like we can actually connect more. I mean, it's not every day that you can, tell this really tall, large man who you used to be afraid of just because he had such a command presence that is ridiculous. There's absolutely no way, right? Like you can have
But you do that all the time now.
I do, but it's in good fun, and he gives it right back too. Yeah. So we can have so much more of a friendship, I feel like, because we've been intentional with our communication. I mean, you get people to open up, you get people to want to be present in that conversation. It has an effect, I think, on everything you do, and even just being able to build those bonds. The biggest example that people probably have is their relationships, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, whether it be, you want to have a deeper connection with, your husband, you want to have a more meaningful connection with your wife, you feel like they are miles away, or they're not giving you the attention that you're craving or that you're looking for, or maybe you don't even realize that that's what you're missing, that you're not having those quality interactions that are done with intention. Maybe it's just coming and going, in passing, right? You either busy, you're tired at the end of the day because you worked all day, or you had kids that ran you crazy, right? You had a whole bunch of shit that you had to do and you only got half of it done, if that. You can still have those quality moments if you pivot and do it with intention, right? Don't let yesterday's or, the craziness from the day just sit on your mind and linger. You can let go of that and have that interaction, or you can have that connection that you're looking for. What's your take?
No, I agree. And I think a big part of that is planning too, because we planned that yesterday. We're going to sit down and talk about our week and have a drink and spend time together.
Sex.
Spend intentional time together. We're just going to move right past that. But it's spend intentional time together. You motherfucker, you're throwing me right now.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But then you look.
Intentional time together. It was and it became quality time because it was planned and it was intentional.
Right. That we were going to spend that time together, and you have to plan it. And then it's something you look forward to instead of, we'll see where they're at when I get home. Yeah. We'll see what time I get home. We'll see what's going on. Like, set that time.
And it was no additional work.
No.
It was no additional work, and we ensured that we had the most amazing evening together. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, like, we spent hours and hours together, and there was never a dull moment. It was never not fun. It was never not engaging. I don't know if you noticed, but we didn't even turn the TV on last night until, like, we were going to bed. We've got so many shows. There's a lot of good shit out there to watch, okay? But we didn't even turn the TV on until later on because all we were doing was talking, reminiscing, playing old music. I mean, there was so much that happened because we allocated that intentional time, right? And I think that people get confused on what it takes to ensure quality in your relationships or in your time with someone else. It doesn't take a whole lot, and we can do it. There's a different conversation as far as needs and making sure that people are fulfilled and all that. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Just as another human being, right? When you are intentional, there's other things that happen. You're present. Mm-hmm. You're focused, and then you start wanting to do that again, and you start demonstrating those behaviors, and it goes from planned, then it becomes a habit. And then it's just something that you do. And so you stay in that constant rhythm with that other person where you guys are aligned and you're not falling out of balance. You're not, 2 weeks later, like, we haven't talked for more than 30 seconds. Like, what's going on? Because everybody gets busy with their own shit. But when you are intentional with your time together, you can always see through that and know, hey, you know what? There's a lot going on, but we're going to get right back to that place. And when that happens, you're going to be chasing that high for a long time. I mean, right? But think about it. Like, that shit, like, it's I don't know. I just thought that shit is chicken soup for the soul. You remember that fucking book that, like, everybody read in the 90s? Anyway, all right.
No, that is, say it.
Okay.
Put it together in a sentence.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was just my sister and she read that teeny bopper bullshit. I don't know. Like, Eat, Pray, Love.
Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul. I remember that.
That was a book, right? Okay, so that's like the juvenile Eat, Pray, Love.
No.
Okay.
Don't you mess with Eat, Pray, Love. It is amazing.
I'm not watching that movie.
Yes, you are.
No.
It's so good. I can't even believe you haven't watched it yet.
I intend to not watch that movie.
No, we're going to watch it. You're going to love it. It's going to be so intentionally good.
Pivoting back. So when that happens, right, you're chasing that and you get freaking amped. I mean, just like spending that extra time in the gym, you're like, oh shit, yep, okay. Curl my 15s. You're going to break your shirt. I am going to pop a button out and fucking shatter the window over there. So you get high off that and you're like, man, I got to do it again. So that helps you build that healthy habit. Next thing you know, you're like, this is pretty good. Maybe we'll take a little bump of positivity. Maybe a little toot-ski of some encouragement.
We'll rip lines of intentionality.
We'll suck a dick for some gratitude.
No.
Oh, was that the line?
Too much.
Okay, all right. Sorry, Bob Saget.
So, rest in peace.
Oh, God, he's dead now.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what do you think could interfere with intentionality, whether in daily tasks or anything you want to focus on, or intention with relationships like you were just talking about.
Do you want my honest answer?
Yeah.
Do you want my real answer?
What would impede?
Put down the fucking phone.
Say more.
Okay, but after you watch this, though, because hopefully people watch this shit, don't put down the phone yet.
Keep that phone real close.
Keep that fucking thing on you. All right.
Hit like and subscribe. Then put your phone down.
I swear, what is every guy who ever says that, they sound like a fucking virgin every time they do. Their voice goes up like 5 octaves. Hey guys, and hit like and subscribe.
Well, you better look at the camera and do it now, because we need people to.
I live in my mom's basement. Actually, fucking rent prices these days. Let's move back in with mom. That sounds good.
So say more about the phones.
So my, Tom, my buddy, he actually called me the other day about this. He's like, dude, like, what is the deal with this shit? And we've had this conversation. I've actually been on the receiving end of a very difficult conversation from you about this, because I've had some bad habits, right? Like,
yeah. Still working on them.
Shut up. Let's be honest, okay? Go to any restaurant. What time is it? Doesn't fucking matter. Go to any restaurant and look at any couple that's there and tell me that they don't have their phones out in front of them. Go ahead. Fucking lie to me, right? Tell me that they don't have their phones out in front of them. Every single time you go to a restaurant now, and you sit down, you plop down into that booth, phone comes out immediately, right? Somebody gets up, goes to the bathroom, phone comes out, right? At least I've worked my way down to that where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, she had to go wash her hands. All right, cool. Let me just catch her real quick, come back. Phone goes either face down or goes in my pocket, right? Because it's a sign of disrespect when you have your phone face up so it can vibrate or take the attention or whatever.
Even having your phone on the table while you're with someone is rude.
What it's doing is it's mitigating your value over the phones, okay? People don't realize that they're fucking addicted. Like Matthew McConaughey says, they'll do it because they're fucking addicted.
Split your differential and tip the fuck over.
God, what a good movie that is. Maybe we'll watch that later.
Yeah. ADHD.
So the fucking dog.
Look at this dog.
He doing?
He's mesmerized by the dead lights.
The dead lights. Back up.
Oh my God, he's so cute though.
So you don't even think about it, that it's happening, right? It's
out. Normal.
It is, because people literally get high off of their phones. They don't realize it. It's not even that they get high. They just get that dopamine that they need because they are addicted. That every interaction, wherever they're at, if they're not being occupied for even just a moment, the phone comes out.
Yeah.
Why does the phone come out when they're sitting at dinner with their spouse? Is it because they're not occupied? How fucked up is that when you really think about it, that you are choosing to sit there and scroll aimlessly instead of engaging with the person that's sitting across from you, right? Whether it's, and this is one thing that Tom said, he's like, bro, it doesn't fucking matter if it was a young couple with some hot chick that they just started meeting each other, or some old couple that's 80 years old. You don't sound like that. You sound better, Tom. But anyway, but that was the point there. It has no specific, it doesn't cater to a specific demographic. It's everybody. And wherever you are, how are you going to be intentional with your time connecting, right? If it's been a long shit week, Monday through Friday, whatever your schedule is, and it's like, okay, Friday's our date night. We go out on a date so that way we can stay together and still want to do each other and not hate each other completely, right? Some people are like that. They got their routine.
And that's just being unintentional. Like, we're checking the box. We're going out on a date.
Fuck checking a box. What's the point of doing that? It's meaningless at that point, right?
Nothing in your life should be about that.
It's feckless, and especially not the person that you are trying to go through this life with.
Yeah.
Don't make them a checkbox. So it doesn't matter who it is, but everybody is, it's all around you. And I don't think people realize it. I didn't realize it, right? I don't even remember what got us to have that conversation where it was like, we're not even here connecting. Do you remember?
Oh, I mean, it's because I don't I mean, we all have some level of addiction to our phone. It's designed to be addictive. It's designed to give you a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
So it's your way of relaxing or disconnecting while still connecting, but you're connecting through a sheet.
It's shit.
So it's not the same. So that's what, so it's the same. Well, I could say a condom, like basically internet interactions are with a condom.
Yeah. Put a Jimmy on and go talk to your spouse, like over your, like, you know.
Yeah. It's just
an emotional Jimmy.
That's pretty much what it is with the internet.
Yeah.
Like there's no actual connection. That's why they say we're more connected than ever. We're also more lonely than ever because we're choosing to do that. I don't remember where it started other than I was just pissed off. You're looking at your phone all the time and then you're not here. Quality time isn't about just physically being next to each other. It's emotionally being connected, having a dialogue, paying attention. And when I say it has become the new normal,
feeling inspired or enlightened or enriched,
you're not going to get that from the internet when you pick up your phone, because real life just isn't giving you the same dopamine high that getting on the internet is. And how much time do you really have with the person that's sitting across from you that whatever you're doing on your phone, you're not even going to remember it in 5 days, 5 years. It's not going to matter, but the time in the moment is what's going to matter. And we have to take away the normalcy of doing that, because you remember when, I don't remember, we were laying by the pool or something, and I wasn't on my phone. I was just looking out.
I like the way this is going.
It's not what you think it is.
Oh, okay. Well, it's always what I think.
I was looking at the trees.
It's my brain. I can fucking think of it.
Whatever. We have like a nice view. So I was looking at the trees, and you're like, what's wrong? What are you thinking about? What's on your mind?
Are you broken? What the fuck is going on?
Because I'm just looking at the trees and not looking at my phone.
I'll put on the TV. We'll fucking entertain you. What's wrong? What do you need?
But because I don't have that level of addiction that most people have, and I try to be intentional with, it's okay to be alone with your thoughts. Yeah. It's okay to enjoy a view. It's okay to not have constant stimulation, but it was weird to you that I wasn't looking at my phone because there wasn't any stimulation around me.
Yeah.
There's a saying, and I'm going to butcher it, but it's, distraction is the killer of creativity and boredom is the birth of it.
Wow.
Like literally your best ideas, like when I go for my walks, I solve all the problems in my job and my life because there's no distraction.
Yeah.
I'm just in nature. I'm by myself. There's no stimulus. I'm moving my body. Like that's where you get inspired.
Yeah.
When you look at you can be inspired by things like people who've done things that you aspire to do with your life, and you can be inspired by that, but mostly you're just comparing. And that's why
comparison is a thief of joy.
And that's why it's so depressing when you think about truly everybody ask yourselves, if you sit on your phone and for 2 hours, you're just scrolling and you finally
the time has gone.
The time is gone and you don't feel better. You feel worse. Always.
Side note real quick. I don't know if your app does it or if it's because we're Androids and we have green text. Fuck all you guys who are like, oh, you don't have an Apple. Oh, you have green text. Go fuck yourself.
I don't even think about you guys.
Yeah, well, I'll take my 100x zoom and fucking look right up your anus. To find your head, because that's where it's fucking lodged. So anyway, what in the fuck were we talking about? Side note, Facebook, mine is now, the whole screen is white, including where the clock and the toolbar used to be at the top. It's white. I can't see any of it. You cannot see the time when you're scrolling Facebook. Like they don't want you to be able to keep track of how long you've been sitting there, finger blasting that screen, looking at pictures of dogs and car crash videos and whatever else the fuck you look at.
Well, the first one that's time well spent, dog videos.
Yeah. Just
mindless.
Just Gary Busey doing squats, just nonstop.
Kevin James memes all day.
But they're so good. They're so good.
And they will not matter next week.
No, it'll still be around. We'll kick it a little bit.
But to your point with the apps, they are designed to be addictive.
Yeah.
I think even with kids, and I hate, I'm going to get a lot of shit for this because we don't have kids, but I think every parent intends with their kids to not set them up with an iPad, to not sit them in front of the TV, to give them blocks or things that are like really build their cognitive ability, hand-eye coordination. And then what happens every time is like, good God, I just want a moment of peace. Let's put them in front of Barney. Let's put them in fucking Coco Melon or whatever it is that like, and they're zombies so entertained by it. And a lot of them are educational, but it is a level of entertainment that their little brains are so overwhelmed. It's pretty much giving them a bowl of Skittles. Like, they are so overwhelmed by the delicious flavor of that sugar, they're not going to enjoy a strawberry again. Again, a whole nother video. But it's all about
And we can talk about how parents have to work so much that they're exhausted at the end of the day because they have to pay.
And I'm not judging parents.
Taxes and inflation has fucked
for
everything.
doing what they have to do.
And so they're like, holy shit, I can't survive. I just need a minute.
My kid's screaming for over an hour. I'm like, just fucking watch Coco Melon. Leave me the hell alone. But anyway, my point is that we overwhelm the human brain so much that we are now programmed to get no joy or happiness from looking at a beautiful tree, to like going for a drive and the weather's nice, to having a conversation with someone we enjoy having time with.
Well, it's like the first time you have sugar. Right? Like, your kid, okay, like, you know, you get animal crackers, you know what I mean? You get maybe like those. Were you allowed to eat sour candy as a kid?
All we ate was junk.
Oh man, I almost never got sour candy. Maybe that's why I love sour flavored stuff, because I couldn't have it when I was younger. But like, so you get like, you know, mundane shit like Nilla wafers and stuff. But that first time you had sugar, oh my God. Or fucking, remember Warheads?
Yeah.
So the first time you get that and you're like, oh my God, I gotta have more of that, you know? That's the shit that people get all the time. They need that constant stimulation, and it's so detrimental. And sugar's
designed to be addictive too in those large doses, but the simulation is
just like, it's overstimulation, right? So anything that's not above and beyond, you're like, I have exhausted my give a fuck. I will now pivot to entertainment.
It's the Joe Pesci who's like, what the fuck is this piece of shit? Like, just looking at your own life, because without the internet, what matters?
It's like, and there's so much that's out there that's all around you. You are so focused on feeling alive that you forget to live, right? Stop and smell the roses. And I never really understood that saying until more recently, but it's like you are constantly just worrying about other things or focusing on other things that you're not stopping to look at the here and now, and you're missing out. Because if you don't remember it, if it doesn't land with you, if it doesn't stick in your mind and in your heart, then it's lost time. And time is the most precious commodity that you possibly have. And you're just throwing it out the window. For hours, you're just sitting there, not being intentional with your interaction, chasing your hustle, right? Chasing your dream, enjoying your hobby. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're not doing it with intention, then you're half-assing it and you're taking the diet version.
Yeah, that's so true. And you helped me to be able to grasp that concept of slow down and smell the roses, because as an achiever, I'm always looking at the next thing, and I bring that into my everyday. What's the next thing I need to get done? And we talked about it last weekend. Like, I worked out, I did the dishes, I did laundry, like I cleaned the whole house because I'm like, I got to get it all done. I only got today. And then like, it was only 3:00 and I'm like, now what? I'm empty because all I did was pour all my energy into getting through all the tasks, but I didn't do any of it with intention. Yes, it got done, but then I'm like, I didn't intentionally plan anything for enjoyment in my day. I just wanted to get things done.
And then you're smoked. What's your mental bandwidth after that?
Yeah, you have to find ways to find joy every single day, even if it's one small thing. And we talked about Monday, like I took a little bit of time to go plant seeds in the garden because I was so stressed out. And you have to pause and ask yourself, what would make me happy right now that I'm gonna feel better afterwards? Not let me take a Facebook break or let me scroll Instagram or
there's no true fulfillment.
You will never feel better after doing that. You already know it. It's a quick dopamine hit, much like drugs. It only feels good in the beginning and then it's 10 times worse afterwards. But find something in your day that's going to make you happy no matter how small it is, because you already know you don't want to go into your day stressed out thinking all the things you have to get done. Think, what's one thing I can do for myself that I will enjoy?
It's like that fucking sign that we have in the room.
Do one thing every day that makes you happy. It's so true. It sounds so cheesy, but if you're intentional in everything else you do, including the things that you enjoy, and you don't just think about it as an escape, because then you don't think about it the right way.
Yeah.
You build it into your day. It's integration of joy plus everything else that you have to do. But if you do it all with intention, I think you can at least appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, I love that. So let's wrap it up then. Give me one parting statement for anybody who watches this about intention.
Just one day at a time. Be intentional and be focused on everything you do. And when you feel yourself get overwhelmed and you reach for your phone as a distraction or a quick escape, fight that and say, what else could I do that's productive, that would bring me joy? And how can I connect to the small things in my day to make myself happy? Because you don't find happiness, you make it for yourself. And you have to figure out healthy ways to do that. And I think as a society, that's not what we're taught to do. We have to prove to others that we're living, but what are we doing to prove to ourselves that we're living?
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to piggyback on that and say, be intentional with your relationships. You're letting precious time slip away from you. You are losing moments that will fulfill you, that will sustain you, that will get you through the next winter. Because there's going to be times, there's going to be moments when things break down between you and someone else that you care about.
Yeah.
And if you are not present, if you are not intentional with your time together, if you are not focused on the tasks and what you're doing with that other person, you are going to lose them and you're going to lose yourself.
Well said.
Cheers.
Cheers. Almost gone because it's that good. Yeah. Or I'm putting you in the dishwasher. Like, that's the end of it.
let's walk that back. Don't say that. We can't use that. That's too fucking dark.
I didn't say the microwave. I just said the dishwasher.
Jesus Christ.
Save that for the outtakes.
Just kidding.
No, I'm going to get death threats.
It's getting buried.